Alright, I hope everybody's doing alright. Staying at home the way you're supposed to and only going out when necessary. So what I'm doing today is I had some, like I live by myself, so sometimes I don't eat all the bread. And it gets old and I go get new bread. But anyways, I have some buns and they are at their expiration date or used by date, whatever. So I'm going to make bread pudding out of the buns that are left here. They're already fairly dried out, but I'm going to put them in the oven for a few minutes. I set the oven at 350, which is what I'm going to put the bread pudding at. And so I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven and just dry them out a little bit more. But there's a little bit more to it than just throwing it in the skillet, but I'll make it as easy as possible and show you how to do it. You basically just need bread, butter. I use real butter. I mean, you can use margarine, but I like real butter personally. Vanilla, eggs, cinnamon, sugar. Hopefully a lot of this stuff you're going to have by now. Even if you eat out a lot, you will have bought some eggs and some butter or margarine, and you're going to have some bread sitting around. Sugar, most people have at their house. Vanilla is probably going to be the only thing that you're going to have to buy if you don't already have it. And then you put like 2 cups of milk in it. So anyways, that being said, you got a half dozen eggs, so there's a buck. I don't know, 15-20 cents tied up in cinnamon and sugar. You get 8 of these in a packet. They're half squares or whatever you want to call it, so they're 4 tablespoons each. 8 of these in a pack are $3, so there's, you know, whatever. And then you don't have anything tied up in the bread because you're going to throw it away anyways, and you probably got 25 cents or 30 cents worth of milk. So, you know, you're making something that you can eat on for 2 or 3 days because it's more of a treat snack type thing, or if you got kids, they'll tear into this. But I'll put these in the oven, dry them out a little bit, and I'll come back and show you how to mix everything together, stick it in the oven, and then we're going to have some good bread pudding. Okay, so I put the bread in the oven for, I don't know, 5 minutes, and it dried it out quite a bit. In fact, it even kind of started toasting it a little bit, which is fine. That's not going to hurt a thing. You want it as dry as you can get it so that it'll soak up more of the egg mixture that you're making. So that's good. That turned out real good. First thing you need to do though is you need to melt butter down. And you know, the amount of bread pudding I'm making, it calls for, I think, 2 tablespoons, but I'm like a big butter fan, so I usually make it a fat 2. Like 2 would be half of this, and I'm going to do like 2/3 of it. So, and yes, I washed my hands. I go crazy about washing my hands. It's pretty much a constant deal with me. So, cut it up so it'll break down a little bit quicker. And then we're just going to put this on the stove on a low heat and let it melt down. You don't want to do it too fast because you don't want the butter to get too hot, because if it does, it'll start browning, and you don't want that. So, alright, so I'm melting the butter down. As soon as it gets melted down, I'll come back and we'll put the rest of the mix together and then throw it in the oven. Alright, just took them a minute and a half, 2 minutes tops on low heat for the butter to melt down. So now we're going to start putting this deal together. What we want to do first is take this bread and put it in a pan. And I probably have too much bread, but you know, it's better to have too much than not enough. And you want to fill the pan up. I know I'm fumbly handed and I'm probably in the way of the camera, but you know, fill it up to where it's level with the top. And so there's that. Now I'll get this out of the way. Alright. Okay, so now we take this and the butter that we melted down. See, it all melted. It melted really quick. We go ahead and pour that over top of it. Okay, we're going to get that to seed itself into that bread really nicely and get that bread to absorb that butter flavor. Okay, so that's initially what you do. And you're just gonna let that set for a minute. So now we're gonna take the eggs, and obviously, if you saw my other videos, you're gonna remember I love paper plates. Okay, reason being, I can crack an egg on a paper plate, set it under here, go from that to that, not get anything on the countertop at all. Good to go. All right. So there's one. And 2 and 3. Wake up. There we go. It was happy where it was at. And 4. So we got 4 eggs. Now, what do we got there? We got trash here. Let me wash my hands real quick. And so now, not only do I not have to wash anything, but self-contained trash. Good to go. Alright. Easy peasy. We're going to mix this up a little bit. Hopefully not make too much racket so as to irritate anybody with grinding my whisk on the pan. Alright, so there's the egg, and now we're going to take 2 cups of milk and put in there. Boom. 2 cups of milk. And again, with this, I'm probably going to have more than I need, because I'm just making it for me. You know, you can adjust it. That's why I like making extra bread, because, you know, if I'd had more bread than I had, I could make 2 pans of this with probably this amount. Alright, so now we're going to take the cinnamon, which some people like it, some people don't. You can use it or you don't have to. I like it, so they say like a tablespoon, but I usually just kind of throw some in there. Because I like the taste of it in the bread pudding. Mix it up. Okay, there's that. Now we need 3/4 cup of white sugar. So, handy dandy 1 cup. I'm going to get 3/4 of the way full, pretty easy to figure out. Look at that. 1 time. Man, oh man. I've done this a few times, huh? Alright, so there's that. Boom. Mix that up so that sugar gets melted down in there. Okay, so there's that. Got the sugar in there. Got the cinnamon in there. And now we need to put vanilla in there. Again, some people don't dig vanilla as much as I do. Use a little more, use a little less, doesn't really matter. I like vanilla, so I dump a bunch in there. Calls for a teaspoon. I probably just dumped in a teaspoon and a half. Smells really good. So because this is kind of a measurement deal, I wrote it down on a piece of paper that I'll show you here in a minute. I'm not all technical and fancy. I'm not going to try to make a screenshot of a fancy little ingredients list for you. I'll just show you what I wrote down for you, and you can hit pause on the video, and there you go. Alright, so that's everything. Wasn't tough, wasn't hard, didn't take but a couple of minutes to get it all ready. Oven's good and hot at 350 degrees. Make a little room here and grab one more of these fancy paper plates that I'm so fond of. And we're going to put the bread here. And luckily my little bowls here have like a little lip on them, so it kind of helps so it doesn't get all over everything, but I'm still going to do that. What you want to do is fill this up. So be careful doing it. I did use it all. I didn't think I'd use all of it. That worked out. Look at that. Man, I am on a roll today. I haven't jacked anything up yet today. Alright, so after you pour that in there, you want to take a fork and push the bread underneath the liquid surface, because you want all that bread, you don't want it on top, you want it down there soaking all the egg mix up. So get it down under there as well as you can, as much of it as you can, and it'll absorb up this liquid as we go. That looks pretty good right there. Alright, so, and then what we're going to do is put it in the oven and let it go for 45 minutes. It takes a while, okay? So just be patient with it. We're going to throw it in the oven. The oven's already preset and preheated, obviously, for 350, so we're going to set it in there carefully without dumping it all over everything, because I'm kind of that way, you know. Another paper plate to throw away. So here, I'll show you this. Hopefully you can read it real easy. There's the ingredients list. Freeze it if you need to. And then, boom, there's how we cook it. Okay, so everybody got that? Alright, so I'll be back in 45 minutes and show you what it looks like. Alright, so you let the bread pudding set and cool for a few minutes, and try to give you some idea there. See how it kind of drops down? Okay, so here we go. Let's see what didn't stick. Very good. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Absolutely. Bread pudding, guys. Hot out of the oven. It's gonna be good. Sorry, I gotta take a bite of it. Absolutely. Really good. Alright, I'm gonna go eat, guys. Bread pudding. There you go.